All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm back again with another video. I hope that you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys are staying safe. You guys, I'm back again with another video. And if this is you guys' first time watching, this channel is all about, well, first off, it's called Live Narc Free. So it's all about getting free and staying free after dealing with the narcissist. So excuse the dogs in the background, you guys, they're always barking. So you know how dogs are. So, anyways, you guys, today's video is not going to be too long, but I just wanted to talk more on inner work and inner healing, especially after dealing with abuse by the narcissist and things like that. Because I'm pretty sure you guys always know I'm always talking about, working through the inner healing, doing your inner work, and that sort of thing. And for some of you, you may not understand exactly what that is because you're like, hey, Joy, I really do want to heal from the narcissist. I want to recover. I want to move past it. And I want to move on with my life kind of thing, right? Like you don't want this to be like a barrier for you. You don't want it to be something where you feel like you're not able to open up to other people or, have interaction with other folks or have connections and things like that. Like you want this to be something where it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, like I went through that and I overcame it kind of thing, because, that's how a lot of folks allow the situation dealing with the narcissist. They allow it to overtake them. They allow the narcissist to pretty much change them for the worst, and that's not something that you want to do. You don't want to be like the narcissist. You want to be, beyond that. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to allow a situation to change you for the worst, which is actually something that a narcissist has done. Hence is the reason why they are a narc, so. But let's talk a little bit about, doing the inner work and doing the inner healing. And what that all means. So basically, when a person is saying, hey, you have to do the inner work, that basically just means you have to change yourself, right? You have to improve yourself. You have to learn how to empower yourself. You have to learn how to make positive changes in your life, right? You have to learn how to, have standards. You have to learn how to be assertive and knowing your value, knowing your worth, especially after dealing with an abusive situation like this, And so, as always, none of this is ever easy. Sometimes a lot of us, we don't even want to do it, because it takes a lot of work. It takes time, it takes discipline, it takes dedication and things like that. And a lot of people want things quickly, right? They want things to happen overnight. And this is not something, your abuse didn't happen overnight. The abuse was a consistent thing. Maybe the abuse was something that was done every day. Maybe the narcissist was doing something to you every single day. And so you have to do your inner work and your inner healing every single day, and that kind of thing. So just keep in mind as far as that. But okay, so let's talk on it. So first off, let's say, you were around the narcissist and, they may have caused you to feel a certain way, right? And so, you're no longer in contact with them and things like that. Maybe it could have been anyone, right? It could have been a parent, in-law, friend, family member, whatever the case may be, an associate. So, first off, you have to identify whatever challenge or obstacle or addiction or trauma it is that you have, right? So whatever the narcissist could have caused you to have, you have to identify that problem. And once you identify that problem, then you work on how to heal that specific problem. So let's say it could be, maybe the narcissist could have had you to have low confidence or low self-esteem, or maybe the narcissist could have made you feel like, you don't deserve something, or they may feel like they may have tried to make you feel like, you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, or that you're beneath them, or you don't deserve certain things in life. Like maybe your parents could have talked down on you a lot, or, maybe, It could have been an in-law, could have tried to make it feel like, you're not a suited mother, or, if you're a male, maybe they could have felt like you're not a suited father, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe, it was a situation where you were the new person coming into the dynamic with your narcissistic in-laws, and maybe they could have make you feel like, you wasn't a part of the family, you wasn't a part of the group or the clique, or you didn't fit into the family dynamic. Maybe they could have tried to isolate you, or try to like gossip and start drama and stuff like that, try to start trouble. And so whatever your particular problem is, or whatever your challenges that you're working on to overcome, you have to identify it. And once you can identify it, then you can work on how to improve that, so that way that's no longer a problem. You get me? And see, that's the thing this is how you're dealing with a narcissist, is because the narcissist, they know that they're the problem. They come around and they start trouble, they want to start drama, they want to start gossip, and start mayhem and things like that. And then they try to hide their hand and try to pretend like they're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so, you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be a type of person where you pretend to be something that you're not, or you try to pretend like you're not doing something and you are. Because when you do that, then that means that you're insane at that point. You're living in a fantasy world, and the thing is that the issue never gets solved, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, they never like to admit that they're the problem, that they're the ones that's causing the trouble, because that means that they don't have to change, and that means that they can remain the same. But with a normal person, they can say like, okay, maybe I do have a problem, and maybe I do need to make some changes, or I do need to heal from a previous relationship, or like I was hurt from a past connection, and let me do that inner work. Let me find out what is hurting me, or let me find out what I need to heal, so that way I don't feel that anymore. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, you may have your moments and things like that, but you can recognize, okay, I have a problem. But with a narcissist, they can't do that. Because remember, they live in a different type of world, right? So although they are the problem, they like to trick other people and make it seem like they're not, but they are actually the troublemaker, and they know that too. So that's why they do what they do, So just understand that. But yeah, so once you identify maybe a challenge that you're having, or it could even be a trigger for you, like whatever your triggers are, and things like that, identify that, right? And then work through it, and you'll have your ways in which you handle it, and then hopefully that won't be a particular trigger for you. Or if it may be, it's just something that just kind of passes by like a cloud. Like clouds are in the sky that pass by. When you have like certain triggers, certain moments, just let it pass by, that kind of thing. And it could also be too, where for some, you may have to get rid of certain stuff when it comes to, any attachments that you may have to the narcissist. So it could be like clothes, items, or maybe gifts or pictures, text messages, social media, stuff like that. You may have to, kind of remove that kind of stuff, or, to help, because that could be a trigger. Like, so a clothing item could be a trigger, or a social media post, or, still being connected to the narcissist in some way, whether it's online or things like that, So just kind of keep that in mind, and just find out whatever it is that your triggers are, and then just work through it, right? So I hope that makes sense. And then the other thing is more on doing your inner work and doing your inner healing is going to be just taking responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for the decisions that you've made, the choices that you've made, the things that may have occurred in your life. You have to own up to that, and again, this is how you can tell a narcissist, is because they won't own up to anything. They won't admit to their mistakes. They won't admit to, the things that they have done to hurt people, the things that they have done to try to trick people, the things that they have done to try to manipulate a situation to make it go in their favor. And, because again, they have this whole scheme, they have this whole plan that they're trying to, do. And, they think people don't know, and things like that. So, but yeah, so you just gotta just make sure that you take responsibility for your actions, And, this is not saying like, oh, like you got to beat yourself up. It's like, no, not at all. It's just like you're a human being, and humans make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And humans, normal people can own up to it. But with a narc, they're never going to own up to it, because for them, it's all about the ego, right? It's all about the image, they got to save their reputation. While they may try to ruin your reputation, right? Because they could be doing something where they're trying to get people to view you a certain way, even if like you know who you are, right? If you're listening to this, you know that you're a particular way. But with a narcissist, what they may try to do is they try to get people to look at you opposite of what you truly are. So let's say they're doing something to you every single day to try to make you upset or whatever, or spite you. And then, they're doing it for that because they want you to ruin your reputation, And so just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? And you don't have any control over the narcissist at the end of the day. Just let them keep doing what they're doing. But you keep, taking responsibility for your own actions and what you're doing in your life. And, let God handle everything, right? Let God take care of everything and everyone. But yeah, so just understanding, take responsibility for your actions. And like I said, that could be in different ways in which you can do that. But just understanding like your mom's not responsible for you, your dad's not responsible for you, other folks are not responsible for you. You yourself are responsible for you. Now, I get if you are, living with your parents and things like that, to a certain degree, yeah, you still kind of like your parents may have a responsibility for you, whatever the case may be. I get that. Cool. But at the end of the day, you kind of want to work towards having your own, because in that way, you don't really have anyone to blame but yourself. Right now, going back again, when it comes to a narc, they will blame you for their issues, right? They'll blame you for their own problems. They'll blame you for their own mistakes in life. And it's just like, no, that's not how it works. You have to own up to what you've done. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. Every normal person has to do that, and no one is beyond that or above that. That's how things work, So just keep that in mind. And how you can, really own that is when you spend time alone. You realize, like, let's say you're at a point in your life where you're just like, maybe you could be thinking back to like whether it's relationships or just life period. And you're thinking like, maybe you're just not, maybe you're recovering from a situation, right? And maybe you're like, okay, like I could have did this better. I could have did that better and this and that. And stuff like that. And so, you just really want to make sure, when you are in your alone time, you can really say, okay, next time I'm not going to do this, or next time I'm going to do this, or next time I'm going to choose to make this decision. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, when you're by yourself, you can hear yourself better, and you can learn how to make better decisions for yourself and everyone else involved. Right. So just taking responsibility for your actions, because no one makes the decisions but you. Right. Now you can get feedback from other folks. You can get advice from people, and that's all good to do. But just make sure at the end of the day, you're able to discern and make the best decision that makes sense to you without any manipulation or without anybody trying to control you or flip the situation and turn it into what they're trying to get. You get what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense. Taking responsibility for your actions, owning up to what, how your life is now, and working on improving that, right? So let's say, you may not be where you want to be right now, but you still have time. There's still things that you can do with your life. There's still new actions that you can take. You can make better decisions. You can make better connections and, have better choices. But it all starts with you with seeing where you are right now, reassessing that and saying, oh, okay, I want to do this now, or I want to try this now. You get what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense. And so I guess this kind of leads up to the next point here, as far as doing that inner work and inner healing, is learning your lessons, right? So as I mentioned before, like in the previous live that I did was, overcoming, toxic negative cycles and patterns, overcoming negative patterns, negative belief systems, learning the lessons from like whatever, whether it's relationships, it's friendships, connections, environments, whatever the case may be, is like learning from it, instead of doing something over and over and over again and thinking you're going to get a different result, which is, kind of insane. But, some people do that, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, just understanding that, learning your lessons, whether when I say that, it could mean anything, like learning lessons, whether it's from the narcissist, or learning lessons about yourself, or learning lessons about abuse, or learning lessons about life in general. You know what I'm saying? Like what can you take away from this? Like as I said in the previous video, life is a school. We're all here to learn. Some of us, we learn lessons a lot quicker than others, and then other people, they just will never learn. And it is what it is. It's no judgment here, So we all have to do what's best for us, So I hope that makes sense. And also too, understanding like sometimes God will allow things to happen in your life. But just understand it's all working. It's all like God's doing it for you, right? It's all going to work out in your favor, if that makes sense. As long as you're on the good side. If you're doing some evil stuff, like behind the scenes, God's going to handle that. But as far as, doing stuff with pure intentions, a good heart and stuff like that, just note that God is only doing it to make you stronger. God's just wanting to strengthen you and make you into a better person, and he wants you to learn something from it. Maybe it's for you to share it with other people and to teach them like, hey, this is how I overcame this, or this is how I overcame that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Or maybe it's for you to teach your children, or, grandkids, or whatever the case may be, cousins, aunties, nieces, nephews, whoever is around you and stuff like that, or friends. All right. So the next thing, you guys, I wanted to talk about more on inner work and inner healing is going to be making yourself a priority. So, it could have been where maybe you was dealing with a narcissist, or maybe you was dealing with the abuse, or it could have been a relationship, or it could have even been a friendship or an associate, who knows? But it could have been to where, as I mentioned in the previous video, maybe you could have been trying to people please, or maybe you was being a doormat, or maybe you was being a pushover and stuff like that. And you was just trying to make everybody happy. And, you really cared about what people thought about you and stuff like that. And you didn't want anybody to criticize you or judge you or whatever. And always remember, nobody can judge you but God. No one's above God, right? But just keep in mind that make yourself a priority, make yourself important, put yourself first, put God first, because again, when you're dealing with people that have NPD, they're going to want all of your attention. They're going to want all of your energy. And if you don't give it to them, then they're going to try to like force it. You get what I'm saying? And that never works, but it's just like, you have to make yourself a priority. You have to, when I say that, you have to make your self-care a priority. You have to make your healing a priority. You have to make your self-love a priority. If you don't know how to love yourself, then you have to find out what it is. As I said, identify the problem, identify what's causing you to not like yourself, or what's causing you to hate yourself, or to maybe be vengeful or spiteful or hold grudges against people, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? You have to identify those things, identify your traumas, identify your triggers, identify your anything, right? Anything, your shadow side, whatever the case may be. You have to make yourself a priority. You have to find the time, because I understand we have busy lives. We have to work. We have to, feed our families, and we got to do what we got to do at the end of the day, So you really got to make sure that you are making yourself a priority, because if you don't, nobody else is going to. You know what I'm saying? And so when you live your life, you have to keep in mind that when you're on your deathbed, you're going to have to like look at your life and be like, wow, like, how did I live my life? How did I spend my time? Who did I spend my time with? What did I do? Did I have an impact on the world? Or was I just, just gossiping all day and just, trouble with people and spreading lies and gossiping all the time. You get what I'm saying? What did I do with my life, you know? Or was I trying to manipulate people and trying to trick people and stuff like that? Or was I trying to like empower people and, you know, inspire and motivate individuals? You get what I'm saying? So you got to really find out, you know, what your priority is, and make yourself a priority, make your healing that a priority, make your recovery a priority. You get what I'm saying? Make your life positive, right? And be around individuals that are like-minded, because what do they say? Whatever, a birds of a feather flock together. So whoever you're around, that's who you're going to be like. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like the people you're around, you have to make some changes. As again, I don't tell anybody what to do, right? What I always say, I only give advice based off of what I've been through in my own life experience, right? So, you know, you just kind of have to keep that in mind. All right. So another thing, you guys, to help with your healing and recovery, it kind of, I feel like I've already mentioned it, but again, improving your behavior, right? Improving your attitudes, improving your, whether it's things about your personality, or improving your mindset, or improving your mental health, emotional health, psychological health, whether that could be getting a therapist, right? A counselor, a coach, a narcissist abuse coach like myself, you know, if you dealt with narcissistic abuse, or maybe you need to dig deeper and get like a therapist or a counselor, whatever the case may be, you know, or maybe it's like joining a support group, or, you know, just making those changes, and not just doing it like 1 day or 2 days and thinking like, oh, it's going to change. But you got to do this every day. Just how the narcissist will do something every day and they think that it's something that's going to change. You got to do something positive every single day. You get what I'm saying? And so this is going to really help improve your behavior for the better. Or, you know, whether it's working on your inner healing every single day, you have to do that, you know, in order to see a change. And also, again, just try your best to, you know, live in reality of the situation. Like, you don't want to like trick yourself, right? You want to make sure, because for some people, like, oh, you know what? I feel like I've done my inner healing. I feel like I've done my inner work, and, you know, and things like that. And then they realize they're still hurting. It's like, you got to really stay focused on yourself, right? And your inner work and your inner healing. So that way you can see the change. You can see the difference, if that makes sense. And then the other thing, you guys, last but not least, I did just want to talk about keeping God first is really going to help your inner healing and your inner work. Like, I mean, for me, you guys, to be honest, like, and I feel like I've said this many, many times, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's just like, with God, He really is just awesome. Like, I know you guys are like, that's so cliche, right? But it's so true. Like, with me, like, I found that on my journey, especially like when I went no contact with the narcissist in my life, like my aunt, who was a somatic narc, and then the male narc, he was a covert narc as well. And then also, you know, me dealing with a borderline, an individual that had borderline personality disorder, you know, so this here really pushed me to go closer to God. Like, when you have God in your life, like, that's really, truly, truly all you need. Now, granted, you know, it's good to have other folks around, whether it's romantic partners or friendships and, you know, other individuals around you, associates, whatever the case may be, you know. But when you have God first in your life and He's leading you, you know, God will do anything for you, right? As long as you are in the right with God and you are not out here trying to hurt people to get something that you want, or, you know, trying to exploit people, trying to copy people, trying to, you know, do stuff at all costs because you think it's gonna like get you something. You don't want to do stuff like that. Like, you want to do things in the right. Like, you want to treat people good. You want to be positive. You want to be loving. You want to be kind, because, you know, that's normal. You get what I'm saying? Like, now, of course, you're not going to be that way to a narc, because the narc doesn't deserve that. But I'm just saying, as far as, you know, people who are innocent, you know, they haven't done anything to you, you don't mistreat them. But we know with a narc, they'll mistreat anybody for any reason because of their own selfish reasons. But keeping God first is really going to help you to focus on your inner work and your inner healing and help you to stay consistent, because you'll see that God will always protect you. God will never let you down. God will never disappoint you, and he will fight your battles. So there's a song by Yolanda Adams, like I truly love, but I don't want to put it on here because y'all know the whole copyright thing. But the song is, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Like, I love that song so much. It's like, there's no pain Jesus can feel, no heart he cannot heal. All things work according to the master. I forgot that other part, but it's like, no matter what you're going through, remember God's using you, for this battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So y'all know I need to, but I need to work on my singing skills. But overall, though, like, what I'm just saying is, like, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So understand, like, whatever it is that you're going through, remember that God is only using you, so it's not for you to, whatever it is that you're going through in your life, remember that God is using you for a reason. He's using you for a purpose, and he loves you, right? God loves you so much, and he's protecting you at all times. And if you feel like, you're dealing with something with a narcissist or something like that, just understand that God will handle it. Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. Just understand that God has your back, and he is protecting you at all times, and he loves you, and he will fight for you. You know what I'm saying? God is a God of vengeance, y'all. Like, I know y'all heard me say that before. God is a God of vengeance. God is a God of justice. And God won't let anything harm you. Like, God really has your back more than anybody, you guys. That's something that I've learned. Like, with God, he has had my back more than anybody. Like, now, don't get me wrong. I've had people that have my back. You guys know who you are. But the things that I have gone through in my life, you guys, like, I knew that I was able to make it because God, and you guys know that we can't see God, right? We can't touch God. We can't feel God. But note that in the times that when I was going through things, you guys, there was nobody but God. And so that's why I'm so focused on God. I keep him first. He's number one in my life because of that. And I will never leave him. I'm loyal to God for life. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I will never turn my back on God just because I've seen how loyal he is to me. I've seen how he's fought for me. I've seen how he's protected me. And I've seen how God supports me like no other. And I can never turn my back on anybody that does that for me. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, you guys, don't mind me trying to sing that song, though. Like but that Yolanda Adams song, though, like, I love that song. Like, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And God knows everything that you're going through, trust me. So if you feel like, maybe the narcissist has done something to you, or they said something about you, or, maybe they're trying to get a whole bunch of people against you, or maybe, who knows what the narcissist is doing. Just understand that God sees and hears all, and God's got you. God's got you. God loves you. I love you. And I hope that this can inspire and motivate anybody dealing with a narcissistic abuse, whether you're dealing with it now or you've dealt with it in the past, or maybe you never know. Narcissists are everywhere. They're everywhere out there. You never know if you could meet one. You may work with one, or you may go to church with one, or you may have some narcs online, or you could have a narc that's a neighbor. It could be an in-law, or it could be in any situation. It could be a sibling. It could be a cousin, an auntie, an uncle, a child, anybody, you guys. you know. So just understand God is with you. He loves you. I love you. So that's basically all I want to say, you guys. So make sure you all give this video a like, share, and subscribe. I would love to know what was you guys' biggest takeaway. And I would love to know what you guys think on this. And as usual, if you guys want to reach out to me for any advice, guidance, support, any clarity about you and your situation, or if you would like to learn more how you can work with me, make sure that you do send me an email at livenarcfree.com. Hold on. Okay, cool. Yeah, so go to livenarcfree.com, or you can send me an email at livenarcfree9@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Also, you guys don't forget, I do have my free Facebook support group for those of you that have dealt with narcissistic abuse. It's called the Healing and the Recovery Room on Facebook, so you guys are more than welcome to join that. And all that good stuff. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm sending you so much love and lights and hugs, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Love you. Bye.